Hi, my name's Steve, my business partner Austin, and today we're going to talk about qualifying leads before you end up wasting time on proposals. And the good thing is now you're at the part in your journey that you're doing proposals, you're starting to get clients, you're starting to to understand what this business is about. But we also don't want to waste a bunch of time on proposals from somebody who's definitely not going to buy. So we're going to look at that and what that looks like. Most new agency owners say yes to every discovery call, and you spend a lot of time prepping, being on the call, building proposals, send it over, and then nothing. So that's not necessarily a sales problem. It was a qualification problem, most likely. So, and what do I mean by that? Well, the person you're talking to probably was never ever going to hire you in the first place. So we're going to try to figure out why that is and how to figure that out. So Austin's got me Burlington, Vermont locksmiths, which is a pretty interesting niche. I've noticed a lot of locksmiths get some very good reviews. Almost all of them get, fours or fives, although just as I say that.
And key duplication.
Yeah, and I think those are those kind that you see like at the stores and stuff like that. So I don't know how good they are. But let's look at one of these and just see what it looks like. Lock blockers. All right, not the fanciest website in the world, but at least we know where he works at, and we don't have really a call to action. We can get the call to action up here, which is not terrible. So, but if we were to try to sell lock blockers a let's say some kind of marketing plan for $1,500 a month, chances are a lot of these locksmiths are not going to want to pay that kind of money. And I could be wrong, but I would be willing to bet they don't want to pay $1,500 a month for your SEO or marketing service. So we're going to try to figure out, who would want to do this and who wouldn't. First off, do you have a problem that you can solve? So you need to do a lot of research on this. You need to check their Google Business Profile. You need to go through your website, do a quick SEO audit, and spot some obvious problems, that you can point out right away. So if they're already good, you know that you shouldn't even reach out to them. They're not going to want to pay. Like this one that's number one here, and he's got 250 reviews. You're not going to convince them that they need your service. So right off the bat, we need to drop down a little bit. And then it's also got to be one that's doing well enough that they can afford your service, but yet have problems that they're not addressing. So let's see if they're, so the hardware stores we know are on, and the ones that are just making keys are out. This one's more of a towing service. All right, let's go back to, how about Easy Open Locksmith? Let's see what we can find with him. If I were to to be looking to market to somebody, he's missing a call to action, but he does a pretty good job of getting his phone number out at least. So if you searched him, you probably would at least get that. It's better than nothing. There's a lot that could be done with the website, but it's still, in his eyes, I'm sure he's pretty good with that. Let's take a look at the Google Business Profile, see what that looks like. And he does start with locksmith, which we like. Let's see what the images look like. All right, so it's like kind of a lot of fun and games and stuff like that, but not a lot of doing the job and stuff like that. So if I were to reach out to him, I would let him know we can get his website up to speed. It looks like his website is dated, a little bit older. We need to get better images in here. We need to do better on posts, and we can definitely bring them in more business. The problem is how much more, because they're ranked second. So is it worth them to pay $1,500 for your services if they're ranked second? So we've got to weigh that all in our mind. And I would probably say that that they would not want to. And so just overall in this market, there wouldn't be a ton that I might decide is a good one to market to. Because once we decide to go forward and try to get somebody, I want it to be somebody that I know we can help, and I know that they can afford it, and I know they would really want us to. So first off, find out what their problem is. If you're dealing with locksmiths, maybe it's seasonal, maybe they just don't, well, whatever it is. So and it's not really a market that we have worked with that much, but if you do, you know exactly what it is. So push their pain point, whatever that is, and try to get them to, and show them all the things you can do better for them, and see if they can, it's worth it to them. But again, what you're also trying to do is disqualify at the same time. So chances are, if I looked at this market, I'd probably go on to a different one for locksmiths, because I'm not seeing a lot that I'm confident we can really help, and they can pay us what we deserve. So I would probably move on at this point. But I'm going to turn it over to Austin. He's going to give 2 more ideas, and then we'll finish up.
So number 3, are they the decision maker? Because usually if you have to go through a bunch of people, the deals will be killed more than bad pricing. So ask really, if we put together something that makes sense, are you in a position to move forward? And if no, then ask who needs to be on the next call. 4, are they ready to move or just shopping? Some people are in research mode, that's fine, but you should be writing proposals for them. Ask, what's your timeline on this? And vague answers like sometime this year mean they're not a now opportunity, so don't burn proposal time on maybes. The intake form. Before any discovery call, send a short intake form, 5 question max, like, what's your business and what do you do? What's the main problem you're trying to solve? Have you worked with a marketing agency before? What's your monthly budget range? How soon are you looking to get started? Anyone who won't fill it out isn't serious enough with your time. The disqualification mindset. So flip the script. You're not trying to convince everyone to hire you. You're filtering for the right fit. And when you disqualify fast, you protect your time, you show confidence, and it actually ends up you close better with the ones who do qualify.
Yeah, that's basically it. We're looking for the perfect client for us, so we don't waste a lot of time. When you find it, reach out. They may not think so, and then you just keep reaching out to another one. So it's a matter of marketing smarter instead of harder. And as you start picking up these clients, they're going to start reaching out to you, which is even better. Thanks for watching. If you're getting value out of this, please comment, like, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow.